Hi everyone. So for your geography class today, I'm going to be teaching on the types of farming. In classifying farming, there are many ways of doing so, but the easiest way is to start with the bigger classifications and move on to the smaller ones. So the major classifications of farming are subsistence and commercial. So subsistence farming is the growing of crops and rearing of livestock, primarily for household use to sustain the family. Of course, here and there, they may sell their produce if they have surplus, meaning that if they are satisfied in their home by what they get, they sell the extras. We also have commercial farming. As the name suggests, it's a business, it's commercial. So they are growing crops and rearing animals for sale. We're going to get more deeper into subsistence farming. So the types of subsistence farming that we have are firstly sedentary farming or settled subsistence farming. This is the growing of crops and rearing of animals by farmers with more or less permanent homes and fields. This is the type of farming that is very common in most rural areas in Zimbabwe because they have their home close by and their field, and they stay there for so many years because that's their permanent home and field. Then we have shifting cultivation. It is the growing of crops with constant change of fields for better fertility. These kinds of farmers move from one place to another after a number of years when their soil loses fertility, meaning that they dump their homes and go to new homes closer to the new fields with more fertile soil, and the cycle repeats itself. We also have nomadic pastoralism. This is the herding of livestock with regular seasonal movements by farmers and their herds in search of water and grazing lands. We have to take note that for shifting cultivation in nomadic pastoralism, shifting cultivation, because it's cultivation, it focuses more on growing of crops, and the word shifting is supposed to guide us to know that there is movement. Same applies to nomadic. Because it's pastoralism, it has to do more with rearing of livestock and less plant cultivation. A nomad is a person who moves from one place to another, and for that reason, nomadic pastoralism, the word nomadic leads us to know that this involved seasonal movement. Since it's pastoralism, the inspiration behind the movement has to do with water supply and grazing lands because it has to do with the animals. Next, we're going to move on to commercial farming. The first type we have is dairy farming. This is the rearing of dairy cows for milk production. The word dairy here guides us to know that it has to do with milk. Then cattle ranching is the rearing of cattle mainly for beef. We also have market gardening or horticulture. This is the growing of vegetables and flowers for sale. These are products that need to get to the people while still fresh in most cases. So it's close to the market, which is why it's called market gardening. So usually it's close to towns and cities, or sometimes even located inside the towns and cities where they are required. We also have extensive estates and plantations. This is large-scale production of estate crops. Estate crops include crops like sugarcane from Triangle, fruits from Honde Valley. We have bananas, apples, and all other fruits from the Mazoe in Mazoe also produces oranges. That's another estate. Tanganda Estate produces tea. Those are examples of estates we have in Zimbabwe. So in summary, when classifying farming, we first note that it branches into two: commercial and subsistence, and each of those branches into many. Under commercial, we have dairy farming, cattle ranching, horticulture, as well as estate and plantations. Under subsistence, we have shifting cultivation, sedentary farming, as well as nomadic pastoralism. You can pause the video here to take the notes. I hope you had a great lesson.